Here are 5 good reasons why the customer is not always right, especially in property management. We've all heard it said. It's a phrase that's been used to shape customer service across industries for over a century. In this short video, we will explore 5 good reasons why the phrase, "the customer is always right," doesn't work well in property management today. This phrase is not just an outdated slogan. It's dangerous with cause and effects for all involved. The phrase, "the customer is always right," was coined over 100 years ago by retail pioneers like Harry Gordon Selfridge. In the early 1900s, this phrase was used to boost customer satisfaction and trust. Back then, it made sense. Consumers needed reassurance, and businesses needed to stand out in a growing marketplace when business meant making the sale at all costs. If you haven't noticed, this isn't the 1900s, the 80s, or the 90s. We are in the year 2025, where we manage homes, not handbags. So here are the 5 good reasons why, in 2025, the customer is not always right. Reason number 1. It enables abuse and manipulation. Not all customers are respectful. Some manipulate, harass, or bully workers under the shield of this outdated slogan. No one deserves to be mistreated at work. And in the area of property management, some tenants are just abusers of the system. They pay rent late or not at all, have poor housekeeping habits, and are rude and verbally abusive to vendors when sent out to perform maintenance requests they themselves made. These are some tactics used all in an attempt to bully managers to cave in to avoid conflict and bad reviews. Why this matters. When you operate under the assumption that the customer must be pleased at all costs, you strip yourself of authority. Instead of enforcing the lease, setting expectations, or standing up for your staff, you're constantly deflecting drama. It puts everyone, including your other clients, at risk. Reason number 2. It undermines trained professionals. Let's be honest. Most people don't understand the legal and logistical layers involved in managing a property, from fair housing laws to eviction protocols and enforcing leases and renewals. Property managers are trained with the know-how to perform their duties. When the customer tries to override our guidance, they put the property, themselves, and the owners at legal risk. Always siding with the customer ignores that we aren't simply service workers. We are experts, advisors, compliance officers, peacekeepers, problem solvers. Why this matters. When customers act like they know more than you and you let it slide to keep them happy, it damages your reputation and increases risk. Reason number 3. It encourages a lack of accountability. The phrase, "the customer is always right," removes the consequences, and when used in property management, it can lead to tenants thinking it's okay to skip rent because they had a rough month. Owners refusing to budget for essential repairs or demanding unreasonably high rents, then blaming the manager for bad tenants or vacancies. Clients expecting rule-bending favors without recognizing the legal exposure they're creating. Why this matters. Property management is about structure. Leases, laws, and local ordinances exist for a reason. When people are allowed to operate outside of those systems without repercussion, chaos follows. Worse than that, it could lead to eviction filings, lawsuits, code violations, or property damage, all of which could have been avoided with firm accountability. Reason number 4. It breeds entitlement, not solutions. Tenants who believe they are always right will escalate minor issues into major disputes, expect instant access to your time and resources, and threaten reviews or legal action if they don't get their way. And owners with that same mindset will also override your decisions, blame you for everything, and undermine your authority with the tenants. In contrast, firm policies and respectful communication build a culture of mutual responsibility. Why this matters? You're teaching clients how to treat you. When you reward complaints over communication, you attract more complainers. In contrast, being firm but fair attracts long-term relationships and builds trust. And the last but not least reason on this list why the customer is not always right is number 5. Times have changed, and it no longer reflects today's industry. We're not living in 1909 anymore. Customers today now have instant access to social media and review platforms, more knowledge and misinformation about landlord-tenant laws, higher expectations for responsiveness and transparency, but not always for responsibility. Today, good management means protecting everyone, tenants, owners, and your team, with firm, fair leadership. We're not running a department store. We are managing people's homes, livelihoods, and investments under heavy legal, emotional, and financial pressure. These are not light matters. Why this matters? Today's property management is about clarity, not conformity. You're a fiduciary, a legal buffer, and a relationship manager, not a punching bag. That's why the new standard in property management must be: the customer deserves to be heard and respected, not the customer is always right. What this means for property managers: if you're in this field, you already know we're not just here to please. We're here to protect, guide, and manage with integrity. So the next time someone tries to pull the customer is always right card, respond with confidence. I'm here to do what's right, even if it's not always popular. Because the most successful managers aren't pushovers, they're professionals. What's your take? Have you had to challenge this mindset in your own business? I'd love to hear your stories and insights in the comments. Let's have the conversation this industry needs to hear. And if you need a manager who does what's right, not just what's easy, let's talk.